Namaskar, and welcome to a special edition of the Indologia Podcast, the post-election analysis special. And I did not think I'd be doing this episode because, well, all of us knew that the BJP is going to win big, so there would not be any need for such an analysis. In fact, on the day that the votes were being counted, my whole plan was to just come to the social media for a bit in the morning, and once, the voting stabilized, the seats started coming, I'd just go back to my work, because, by the time we would have won. Because last time, I remember, by lunchtime, people were pretty much celebrating. And after Prime Minister Modi said, "Ab ki baar 400 par," it was understood that, by lunchtime, we would be celebrating once again. But yeah, what happened was pretty surprising. And on social media, I was posting a lot of updates, and I was constantly getting these messages and hundreds of messages. Very anxious messages, very worried messages. And I told everybody that, look, this is what happens. The count and everything will settle down by 11:30, and we'll know what patterns will emerge. That did not happen. But still, I wasn't too worried because the margins on, I think, 200 seats were very, very thin, like 5,000 votes. So I thought that, by 1:30 it will settle, then we'll know the real picture. Even that did not happen. And then the margins came down to, 100 seats. Then it was beginning to emerge that something is really going on here. By that time, everybody's worried. Everybody's thinking, oh my God, is BJP going to lose? Well, I knew they would not lose because they had plenty of seats. The math was working out. But it was still disappointing that they could not have that huge win that they had in the previous time. But I think in hindsight, it is probably a good thing. If you look at it from the Hindu civilisational perspective, which is what I'm going to do today. I am not going to analyze it like how the news channels and the political people do it, because I'm not a political expert. But I have researched a lot of things in the last couple of days, and I am going to look at this election from a purely Hindu perspective. What happened, why it happened, and what we can expect will happen under the new coalition. And most importantly, what should the Hindus do? I am not just going to give you my views, but I'm going to tell you things that can be substantiated with either data or on the ground report or news reports. To begin with, let's do the simplest thing. Let's look at Tamil Nadu. All of us thought that Annamalai will win. There was a certain wave, at least on the social media. We like him. He's a pretty awesome guy. Unfortunately, it did not translate into a win, but it's not all bad. This time, the BJP has made a very strong entry into the Tamil Nadu political scene. Let's not forget that once upon a time, the BJP in Tamil Nadu used to be dismissed as a Nota party. That same BJP has now captured 11% of the vote share. That is 4.5 million votes, which makes it the third largest party in the state. In 12 seats, where they were in direct fight against AIDMK, they came on top. And the BJP's vote share grew from 3% to 11%. In 2019, for example, BJP, when it was in alliance with the AIDMK, secured 392,007 votes. This time, on its own, when it was fighting independently, BJP got 450,132 votes. And how is that important? This surge, this increase of vote share marks the first time since 1971 that a national party without an alliance with DMK or AIDMK has achieved double-digit vote share in Tamil Nadu. Anna has a long journey ahead of him for sure, and I'm sure he knows that. But give him 15 years, he'll probably end up as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. The story of the day, however, is Uttar Pradesh. Nobody expected this. It was a complete shocker. And since then, a lot of blame game has been going on, a lot of blaming, a lot of finger pointing, a lot of analysis. But what really happened in UP, in Ayodhya, in Amethi? Because in 2019, in the Faizabad Lok Sabha constituency, 49% people voted for BJP. BJP got 5,29,021 votes. And this time, believe it or not, the number of voters increased from 10,87,121 to 11,40,671, but only 4,99,722 people voted for BJP. The number of voters increased, but the vote share of BJP decreased. So people came out to vote in numbers, but voted against the BJP. And the same story plays out in all the seats in that region. But was it such a surprise? It turns out it wasn't. Uttar Pradesh Minister and BJP leader Suresh Kumar Khanna said, and this is on the day of the counting, that party leaders in Uttar Pradesh, were the most overconfident. They felt that they had already won. There are other reasons too, but this is the biggest reason, that due to overconfidence, we won a lesser number of seats. And he is not the only one. Union Minister Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti said that 15 days prior to polling, I felt that there was definitely something wrong here. I also felt that the work we started in Fatehpur faced obstruction somewhere. Now this means that some people did know that something was going wrong. Was their feedback not taken? There are a lot of theories from the fact that during the construction of Ram Mandir, a lot of very revered temples were broken, and that is true. But it is unlikely to have such a huge impact, especially in Amethi, which is 100 kilometers away. So what was the reason? One reason is the caste politics, in which BJP was completely outsmarted by the Samajwadi Party and the Congress. But again, I'm not interested in what the Sapa or the Congress did. I am more interested in what BJP did wrong, especially when looking at it from the Hindu lens. Now, one of the theories that has been put forward a lot is that the BJP chose wrong candidates, which is in fact true. Because if you look at the information that is available on the internet, it is not a myth. For example, in Jaunpur, the RSS wanted to field Gyan Prakash Singh, who's an industrialist, who is known to have donated generously to the newly built RSS office in the city, as well as to the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. He is well known on the ground, and they wanted him to be their candidate, the BJP candidate. But the BJP fielded Kripa Shankar Singh, who's formerly of Congress. And when he was nominated for the elections, it was hailed as a masterstroke by prominent members of the BJP IT cell. Also at that time, a local leader of the BJP from Jaunpur had said that Gyan Prakash was almost in campaign mode. The RSS was very keen to have him, but Kripa Shankar, who has very little to do with the people in Jaunpur, was brought in by the BJP High Command. Even more shocking is the fact that this Kripa Shankar, formerly of the Congress party, is the same guy who was involved with launching that propaganda book, 2611 RSS Ki Sazish, along with a lot of Islamist figures, which was part of the conspiracy that wanted to blame RSS for 2611. I'm sure you guys have seen that photograph where a bunch of people are standing on this book launch. So this guy who wanted to implicate RSS in the 2611 terror attack, this was the guy fielded by the BJP. And what happened? This guy lost the election by almost 1 lakh votes. Similarly, another example. From Shravasti, the BJP nominated Saket Mishra, who is the son of Nripendra Mishra, who was principal secretary to Mulayam Singh Yadav, and, get this, and he was linked to the 1990 firing on car sevaks. This guy, the guy who was involved in the shooting of car sevaks, his son was made the candidate by the BJP. Nripendra Mishra himself was appointed by the BJP as the chief executive of the Ram Janmabhoomi construction and a trustee of the Ram Janmabhoomi board. The same man who was involved in the decision to fire on the car sevaks. Additionally, in 2021, Prime Minister Modi awarded the same Nripendra Mishra the Padma Bhushan, while Mulayam Singh Yadav received the Padma Vibhushan. And what was the end result? Saket Mishra lost the election. Furthermore, out of the 34 BJP candidates that had been with the party for 2 years or less, 27 lost. That's nearly almost 80%. Out of the 26 candidates who joined only this year, 21 lost. Remember all that rapid intake spree that BJP went on to get politicians from other parties? That failed. That completely failed. On top of that, Yogi ji was not given any say in candidate selection. And even when Kejriwal came on the media and he claimed that Yogi Adityanath will be removed as the CM by the central leadership, a strong denial or any rebuttal from the central leadership was missing. And by the time JP Nadda spoke about it, it was too late. And a certain Yogi versus the central leadership narrative was set. So maybe, just maybe, the lesson here is that perhaps they should stick to a bottoms-up approach rather than a top-down high command approach, where deserving karyakartas with a connect to the ground are given tickets, rather than decisions from the high command, which are sacrosanct, are followed. BJP has to shed this congressy culture of a centralized high command. It is a party that has grown organically from the ground, and therefore it is centered around its cadre. And not listening to karyakartas, it cost BJP big time because the cadre knew that there were problems, but nobody listened to them. And I will give you a proof of this. This is a report from the Telegraph dated 5th of May. And I will read this to you verbatim. It says, political observers believe that all isn't well with the BJP at Hindutva's ground zero. And this is why Modi is arriving on Sunday, 15 days before the polling, for a roadshow. A politics lecturer at a local degree college said that normally roadshows by the senior-most leaders of the party are held 3 or 4 days before the election. But suddenly, the most powerful people in the government are visiting Ayodhya many days before polling. A large number of BJP workers are uninterested in campaigning. The RSS cadre, extremely active here in 2014 and 2019, remains elusive. They are neither going door to door nor meeting BJP workers. T.N. Tiwari, a local political analyst, said, Amit Maurya, the Devkali Mandal BJP booth president in Ayodhya district, committed suicide on May 20th, 2021 after facing police harassment during the construction of his house. BJP leaders did not help him, and he threw himself on a railway track. Since then, many booth-level BJP workers and leaders have withdrawn from party activities. Avadhesh Prasad of the Samajwadi Party is the India Alliance nominee against Lallu of NDA in Ayodhya. The caste equation seemed to be with him. One of the reasons has been the fear generated among Dalit, tribals and OBC voters that if the BJP wins a huge majority, it would amend the constitution to abolish reservations. Ironically, Lallu had himself fanned these fears by purportedly declaring at a meeting in the second week of April that the BJP and allies needed over 400 seats to change the constitution. Lallu later claimed the video of his speech was an edited one, but the controversy forced Modi to drop his 400-plus cry and rush to deny, along with Union Home Minister Amit Shah, that the BJP would never ever change the constitution. Avadhesh Mishra, a BJP worker, said, losing the Faizabad seat will be a real humiliation for the BJP and Modi ji because Ayodhya is a part of it. This is probably why the Prime Minister has suddenly decided to hold a roadshow over here. President Draupadi Murmu rushed to Ayodhya on Wednesday, and Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Dhami participated in a 9-kilometer-long roadshow with Lallu before the MP filed his nomination, which shows us that there was clearly panic in the BJP. They knew that something is going on here. They knew that they just might lose this seat. And then there was the RSS factor. And I will read you this report from 17th of May 2024 that sums up what happened between the RSS and the BJP. The report says, after 10 years of the BJP being in power at the center and 7 years in Uttar Pradesh, unrest pervades RSS circles. They claim that the government, despite being their own, has done nothing to improve their lives. In issues like job postings, registering FIRs, or obtaining loans, the life of an ordinary RSS Swayam Sevak has barely changed under BJP governance. A near-complete neglect of the RSS in ticket distribution this time, a preference for outsiders over karyakartas who have served the party for decades, and a general sense that BJP has grown arrogant and does not need the organization as before, have all disillusioned the karyakartas. Inder Bahadur Singh, an RSS Vistarak, a worker who unlike a pracharak can be married and have a family, says, the BJP has given this message that they don't need the Sangh anymore. They do not even come and visit the Sangh leaders like before. Usually, RSS workers would be consulted with regard to ticket distribution at local as well as the state levels. But this time, the organization has been completely sidelined. Ordinarily, the BJP and the RSS function as an indistinguishable unit during elections, working seamlessly together on electoral and political matters, such as ticket distribution and campaigning. While BJP workers actively solicit votes, the RSS workers conduct sensitization campaigns. Inder Bahadur Singh said, we'd never tell anybody who to vote for, but we would run door-to-door campaigns from village to village, sensitizing people about the importance of voting and also voting for the party which looks after the nation and Hindutva's interests. In the last UP election, for instance, we ran extensive campaigns about Ram Mandir, the Article 370 abrogation and triple talaq. After our morning shakas, we would spend the whole day campaigning. Our workers would constantly be on the field understanding what is clicking with people and what is not. This would make sure that the BJP has continuous and real-time feedback about what is working and what is not. However, this election has marked a shift. Many cadres are sitting out the fight. A Lucknow pracharak said that only those in formal leadership positions in the organization are campaigning. The ordinary pracharak or karyakarta is not campaigning at all. Until the last election, shakas would be one of the most important sites where campaigning was discussed and planned. Now there is nothing happening. Across constituencies, there are hushed out but widespread complaints of lack of democracy within the BJP, over-centralization and lack of hissedari, share in power in the RSS ranks. Singh said ordinarily RSS leaders would be consulted and involved in the district-wise selection of candidates, which would then go to the state and finally onto the national level. But this time, this process was entirely eliminated. Some instances of this have stung deeply, such as in the case of Kanpur, where the Sangh strongly supported Neetu Singh as the BJP's Lok Sabha candidate. She is the daughter of the current BJP MP, Satyadev Pachauri, and granddaughter-in-law of barrister Narendra Singh, who laid the groundwork for the Sangh in Kanpur and neighbouring districts during the 60s and the 70s. However, instead of Neetu Singh, the BJP selected Ramesh Awasthi, a former journalist and editor known to have the backing of Home Minister Amit Shah and UP Deputy CM Keshav Prasad Maurya. A BJP functionary in the state told the Print that the party is fully aware of the unrest among Sangh workers. As several RSS leaders pointed out, these grievances may impact the party's performance. While Karyakartas will still vote for the BJP, the extra votes they usually mobilize may not materialize this time. As you can see from this report, there was a clear division between the RSS and the BJP, and even at that time, the local RSS leaders knew that this would have repercussions. In fact, RSS was so miffed that at the peak of the election campaign, they scheduled its 25-day Karyakarta Vikas Varg in Nagpur, starting May the 17th. During the campaigning, at the peak of the election cycle, lakhs of Karyakartas attended this camp in Nagpur when ideally they should have been campaigning, helping the BJP with the campaign and the ground-level reporting. And this, as we know, definitely played a part in the end result. The BJP left no stone unturned in quoting the Muslim vote bank. In the National Executive Meet of the BJP, which was held in Hyderabad on July the 3rd, 2022, Prime Minister Modi made an appeal to the Bharatiya Janata Party and the workers to make an outreach to deprived minority groups such as the Pasmanda Muslims, especially in Uttar Pradesh. The BJP president, JP Nadda, directed party cadres to organize programs for Pasmanda Muslims to give them, quote, sneh and samman. On July the 5th, 2022, Preeti Gandhi of the BJP posted this tweet. It said, "The Muslim population of India is 14.23%. But under the PM Awas Yojana, 31% homes have been given to Muslims. Under the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, 33% of the funds have been given to Muslims. In the PM Mudra Yojana, 36% funds have been given to Muslims. On top of that, 5 crore scholarships have been given to Muslims." On October the 17th, 2023, a BJP handle tweeted that till 2014, only 4.5% Muslims were government employees. But in 2023, the numbers have gone up to 10.5%. The Muslim appeasement had reached such a level that instead of abolishing the Waqf Act, the BJP started the Shahri Waqf Sampatti Vikas Yojana, a scheme for grants and aid to Waqf for the development of urban Waqf properties. They gave them money to develop the urban Waqf properties. They also started the Qaumi Waqf Board Taraqqiyat scheme, a scheme for computerization of records and strengthening of state Waqf boards. So instead of abolishing the Waqf Act, they digitized their records, thereby legitimizing the Waqf properties. The appeasement continued in all forms right up till the elections, when you saw Madhavi Lata, the BJP candidate from Hyderabad, who worked very hard to uplift Pasmanda Muslim women. She donated to madrasas, participated in Ramzan events, distributed food to the poor Muslims and fed them with her own hands. On top of that, she promised a 500 crore developmental package for Muslim areas and supported reservations for Muslims. And what was the end result? In spite of all this, she lost the election by 338,000 votes. And this pattern is reflected in other cases as well. In a 100% Muslim polling booth of a village in Rampur in Uttar Pradesh, a total of 2,322 votes were casted. In this area, 532 houses were given under PM Awas Yojana to poor Muslims of the village. End result? BJP got 0 votes from this polling booth. The Shia, the Sunni, the Sayyid, the Pasmanda all voted against the BJP. Another example, Yusuf Pathan, an outsider with no background, no connect to West Bengal, won the Behrampur seat for TMC, defeating veteran Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who had held this seat since 1999. But Behrampur, a Muslim-majority area, shifted their support from the Hindu candidate to Yusuf Pathan, a non-native Gujarati Muslim with no connect to the ground. He won the election by 45,000 votes. Shariat before the Constitution. According to Republic TV, 72% of Indian Muslims voted for Congress and allies in 2024, as compared to 50% in 2019. In this election, 3 out of every 4 Muslims voted for Congress and allies. And I'll give you one last example. And it's tragically comic, to be honest. At the Raza Degree College polling booth, the Samajwadi Party got 256 votes. BJP got 1. At Shamsi Girls Inter College polling booth, Sapa got 371 votes, BJP got 2 votes. At Bagicha Emna polling booth, Sapa got 184 votes, BJP got 1 vote. At Madarsa Uloom, Sapa got 230 votes, BJP got 3 votes. And ITI Kila polling booth, Sapa got 515 votes, the BJP got 2 votes. The BJP could not even muster 5 votes in these Muslim majority areas. The result of this appeasement, absolute failure. And the same was the case with the Dalit vote. To garner the Dalit vote, the BJP made the draconian SC/ST Act even more stringent, adding provisions for an FIR without any preliminary inquiry and immediate arrest of a person who was alleged to be in violation of the SC/ST Act. And the BJP's own people suffered too. A well-connected BJP supporter, in the know of the prominent figures in Maharashtra's BJP circles, was arrested by the Nasik police under the SC/ST Act for criticizing Dr. Ambedkar. Because it is a crime if by any means you disrespect any late person held in high esteem by members of the SC/ST community. No preliminary inquiry needed, no anticipatory bail, just direct arrest. And this was done by the BJP. But these desperate efforts of the BJP to grab the Mandal space, so to say, backfired. A large number of Dalit votes went to the India Alliance. Laughably, one of the popular viral videos during the elections was a video of the Dalits of Barabanki taking a pledge in front of Ambedkar's statue to not vote for BJP. So the masterstroke of the Dalit appeasement, complete flop. The same thing happened with the Sikh appeasement. PM Modi hosted so many Sikh delegations, served food in SGPC Gurdwaras, opened up the Kartarpur corridor to Pakistan, revamped the Jallianwala Bagh and gave the 3,328 victim families financial support of 5 lakh rupees. He let the Sikhs who had been subjected to torture in Afghanistan and Pakistan come into India. He gave them citizenship under the CAA and even allowed a FCRA exceptions, FCRA through which the foreign funds come into India. An exception was given to the SGPC, the organization that is responsible for running the Gurdwaras in India. This FCRA exception that was given to SGPC led to tons of Khalistani funds flowing into Punjab. During the farmers' protest and the riots that followed, the central government treated the rioters very gently. They weren't strict with the anti-national elements, and in the end, the farm laws were repealed. We were told it is some sort of a master stroke. And the end result, the BJP got a grand total of 0 seats in Punjab, where separatist Khalistani elements are winning the election. Perhaps they should have spent some time handling the rapid conversion rackets that are running all around Punjab that have resulted in an increased Christian demography in the area who are more than happy to vote for the Congress party led by Sonia Maino. Not a single act of appeasement yielded BJP any results. Modi repealed the farm laws to appease the Punjabi farmers, resulted in no seats in Punjab. He introduced special schemes for Muslims and UPSC selections, only to see a significant drop in BJP's Muslim vote share. He restored and worsened the SC/ST Act, and yet the Dalit vote share decreased. To get a better idea, listen to this. There are 31 Lok Sabha constituencies in India where non-Hindu religions such as Islam and Christianity are numerically dominant. In spite of their hardest efforts, the BJP did not win a single one of them. The only thing that the BJP has gained from these appeasement policies is a reputation for being a party that will readily bend over to any street displays of power, be it Shaheen Bagh or farmers' protest. And every time the well-wishers of the BJP questioned this appeasement, we were told it was all part of some masterstroke. Farm laws repeal, CAA delay, Nupur Sharma suspension, all of it was a masterstroke. I am very tempted to ask them, very humbly, how many seats did you win because of these alleged masterstrokes? And for the Hindus, what did the Hindus get? BJP's tenure so far has been marked by a focus on development, welfare and nationalist optics, with absolutely no focus on the Hindutva ideology that they are often accused of. PM Modi's signature schemes have largely centered around development goals. The party's focus is on governance and welfare rather than any sort of a Hindutva renaissance. They've not made any significant changes to the textbooks to correct Marxist history, let alone incorporate Savarkar's Hindutva ideology or rewrite the textbooks from a Hindu nationalist perspective, as one might expect from a party committed to promoting this ideology. The BJP's approach, in fact, has been closer to Ambedkarism, which emphasizes territorial nationalism and the upliftment of marginalized communities, rather than Savarkar's Hindutva, which advocates for a Hindu Rashtra with equal rights for all. The BJP likes to tap into the Hindu vote bank, but when the Hindus ask for their issues to be addressed, their mouths are shut up with a lollipop of masterstroke. Hindus meekly comply because they don't want their guy, their hero, to suffer in the polls. Because you're told, do not criticize the BJP because the opposition will capitalize on it and defeat the BJP in the polls. When the Prime Minister tells the Hindu women that the growing population of illegal Muslims is going to take away your Mangal Sutra, then I very humbly and respectfully want to ask him, Dear Prime Minister, then why aren't you protecting us from that? Why did you not bring the NRC and deport the illegals? Or are you purposely keeping them there to scare us into voting for you? When JP Nadda goes and says that BJP has no interest in building Kashi and Mathura, when he says that the BJP is not a saffron party, that the BJP does not need the RSS, you're sending a very bad signal to the Hindus. These are not the kind of statements that are expected from a Hindutva party. And that, coupled with constant Muslim appeasement and an attitude of ignorance towards Hindu issues, is certain to end up in a disaster somewhere along the line. The party abandoned Nupur Sharma. It spoke about the Kanhaiya Lal incident only during campaign rallies 2 years after the incident, only to capture the Hindu votes. You cannot suddenly pretend to be a Hindutvavadi during campaigns and sing the song of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas during the remaining 4.5 years. Hindus are not stupid. They want to be listened to. And what makes it worse is that when we raise such issues, your minions tell us to shut up because we have been given the Ram Mandir. You have all of our heartfelt thanks for the Ram Mandir. But just because we now have the Bhavya Ram Mandir, we must somehow remain shut about all our other issues. All while every single issue that the Samudaya Vishesh has is promptly taken care of. How long will you keep ignoring the plight of the common Hindu? It is tragic, and some of you will consider this criticism harsh, and I understand that. But I want to ask that apart from Ram Mandir, what has the BJP done for the Hindus? And no, 370 abrogation is not a Hindu issue. Had they settled Hindus in Kashmir after 370, that would have been something for the Hindus. But so far as we know, Kashmiri Hindus are still rotting in refugee camps. And post-370 Kashmir has been a sad story. As I've said many times, the Kashmiris want the Hindus to come as tourists, but not to stay. Because when you come to stay, you will be assassinated, as we have seen in so many cases. And in spite of all this, the common Hindus continue cheering for and voting for Prime Minister Modi, as can be seen from the fact that the BJP has emerged as the single biggest party when it comes to the vote share. Okay, so what next? The BJP alone still has more seats than the entire opposition put together. This election might feel like a car crash, but it's not. It's just a puncture. To lose UP and Maharashtra and still end with 240 seats for a third term is not bad at all. At worst, you can say that the brand Modi suffered a minor bump. But Prime Minister Modi remains immensely popular, and he will undoubtedly course correct sooner rather than later. As far as the coalition is concerned, it's not that big a deal. BJP has the senior leaders to run a successful coalition. You have Rajnath Singh, Gadkari, Shivraj Singh Chauhan. They'll be great assets with this. In fact, I would say just make Shivraj Singh Chauhan the party president. He'll undoubtedly do a great job. JP Nadda, of course, he has to go. Even if Nitish Kumar was to withdraw from the NDA, the alliance would still maintain a comfortable majority of 281 seats. This numerical advantage diminishes any leverage Nitish might have in seeking to destabilize the alliance. His decision to abandon the NDA may not be a prudent move because his political ambition can be easily accommodated within the current arrangement by the BJP. Besides, the Congress-led opposition alliance will unlikely offer him a better deal. As far as Chandrababu Naidu is concerned, he's unlikely to abandon the NDA, as he's historically remained committed to the NDA, happily ignoring other coalitions. For Naidu, the development of Amravati as the state's new capital city is a top priority, for which he'll, of course, get financial support from the centre. Now, Naidu, like Modi, is development-centric, and he'll understand that the BJP-led NDA is better positioned to provide the necessary funds and facilitate land and labour reforms crucial for this ambitious project. His previous tenures demonstrate his alignment with the BJP on economic and fiscal policies as well. Thus, Naidu's loyalty to the NDA is likely to remain intact. Now, the good news is that this particular situation is not unfamiliar territory for the BJP. Do you remember Gujarat 2017? When they needed 92 for a majority, the BJP could muster only 99 seats. But for the next 5 years, the party toiled and worked hard and got this tally up to 156 seats in the next elections. The BJP has been in power in Gujarat for almost a quarter of the century, and yet it could add 57 additional seats. That says it all. Thus, I expect PM Modi to go back to paying attention to details, go back to reminding himself the lessons he would have learned when he was a mere karyakarta roaming around the country, and bounce back big time. This is not a man that you can keep down for too long. I am also pretty certain that he will fight the 2029 elections as well, because not a chance that he leaves this pet project of Vikasit Bharat 2047 unfinished or in somebody else's hand. Now, will there be minority appeasement in the new coalition government? Well, it seems that the minority appeasement concept might be going out of fashion in Indian political circles. Yesterday, Mayawati-led Bahujan Samaj Party issued a very interesting statement. The statement said, "We gave enough representation to Muslims in this Lok Sabha elections as well as in previous elections, but we did not get adequate support and they could not understand us well. Therefore, from now onwards, we will only give them opportunity after thinking properly so that the party won't suffer such a loss." Some of you also might recall that after his 2023 loss, H.D. Kumaraswamy had said that he'll rethink his approach to minorities as they had betrayed him and he wouldn't seek their support again. So is BJP likely to follow the trend? Who can say? But if they want to earn a clean majority in 2029, then they really should. But one thing is for sure. Had they achieved the goal of 400 par, then similar appeasement policies would have continued. Now, they'll be forced to rethink such endeavors. So maybe this election result is a blessing in disguise. And this, honestly, is an opportunity for internal reforms. This is a character-building loss, provided that the BJP leadership has the will to learn from it and build on it. And all of it has to start from an ideological clarity. In his speech after the results were announced, Modi said the familiar line of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. But he dropped Sabka Vishwas. So is this an early sign that the times of Jiska Saath Sirf Uska Vikas is here? I would go one better, and I would say that the PM Modi will be better off following a policy of Dharm Ka Saath, Dharm Ka Vikas. His core Hindutva voter base has stayed with him even during these tough times, and a strong pro-Hindu stance will only see it grow. There is a significant section of people who like CM Modi more than PM Modi, and they should not be ignored. Issues like love jihad, stoning of Hindu religious celebrations, and violence against Brahmins don't just impact the lives of common Hindus, they also make the Hindu society feel weak, that it has to suffer constant atrocities when a supposedly pro-Hindu government is in power at the center. As Anand Ranganathan puts it, the Hindus feel like eighth-class citizens, without any dignity and thus not able to muster much self-respect. The BJP must address this. The Prime Minister must understand that the reins of the Rashtra have been handed to him by the majority Hindus, and he is expected to navigate us through this Chakravyuh created by, for the lack of a better phrase, the Breaking India forces. Given the terrible position the Hindu society is in, there is no room for ideological confusion or slow responses to rapid challenges. PM Modi must also pay heed to the Hindus of the general category, who are victims of aggressive social justice and are constantly discriminated against in all spheres of life. Their lives have to be made slightly more livable. Instead of looking to oppress the general category Hindus into submission, they must look to empower them. At least let them have equal rights. They have been ignored for far too long. The slightest appeasement towards the general category Hindus will earn the BJP rich dividends. Instead of focusing on reforming the Hindu Dharma and our sacred Dharmkshetras, just free our temples. Shed your insecurities, drop your caste-based societal divisions and let the Hindu society build its institutions. Let it get organized, because as history is a witness, the Hindus might be lethargic and lazy and appear sleepy, but eventually they will revolt. So dear Prime Minister Modi, Hindus are your friends and well-wishers. Please don't treat us like stepchildren. Another very crucial thing that the BJP has to do is revamp their inner structures and start setting the narrative rather than chasing the narrative that is set by the others. In the last 5 years, we have seen countless times that the Western media or our internal 0.5 front spreads some fake news, sets a narrative, and the BJP goes around debunking it, chasing it, eventually failing miserably at it. It even cost them seats in the elections, where the Congress IT cell and the Darbari media spread the rumor that the BJP was going to change the constitution and remove the reservations. By the time the BJP IT cell caught up with the narrative, it was too late. They lost so many seats because of it. The Congress party went around saying that they'll put 8,500 rupees in every woman's account, which was a lie. That the BJP will take back reservation, another lie. That the BJP will change the constitution, once again a lie. All of these lies swiftly reached the ground through WhatsApp. The BJP IT cell completely failed to counter these and set their own narrative. The Congress made Dhruv Rathi a national hero and the BJP had no answer to it. The BJP has more money and personnel. It is high time that they take this information war very seriously. The BJP IT cell perhaps should focus less on abusing those who support Prime Minister Modi and work more on getting ahead of the opposition's narrative. BJP has tons of well-wishers, influencers, Indic personalities, writers, YouTubers, scholars. It's time the BJP helps us create an ecosystem rather than chasing approval of the Marxist intellectuals and left-leaning institutions. Look at the countless Twitter threads that are posted daily. One can easily see that a good majority of the BJP supporters are far more informed and do a far better job of debunking false narratives than the IT cell. BJP has to nurture these individuals. The RSS helped BJP become what it is now. It is time for BJP to pay that rin and lift others to help create a genuine Indic ecosystem. But irrespective of whether that happens or not, the Hindus have to take care of themselves. The Hindus need to understand one simple thing. Public will drives political will. Demands of the people ultimately shape the agenda and actions of their elected representatives and the government. But when you do not state your demands, when you do not highlight your issues, when you do not have civilian organizations who are constantly at it, the politicians feel no need to address your issues. The Muslims and the Christians of India, they do this, and that is why they get their demands fulfilled. But the Hindus think that their job is done when they elect their preferred politician to power. It is high time that the Hindus change the slogan of "we have to vote for BJP" to "we have to vote for BJP because we want XYZ." There has to be a purpose for electing someone to power. Remember, electing BJP is not the end goal. Electing BJP to handle our issues is. BJP is just a means to an end. So the easiest thing that the Hindus can do is mobilize people at the local level, build relationships with other Hindus, talk to them, and foster a sense of collective cause. The simplest thing you can do is social media activism. All of you have a smartphone. All of you have some time spare in the day. Nobody's constantly busy. I'll give you some very simple ideas. Can you make a local Hindu page for your city, your town, your village? For example, the Hindus of Baroda, a page in the local language for the local Hindus highlighting Hindu issues. Forget about the likes, forget about the followers. Can you just do that? Because even if you have 500 people following you, you could turn that into a real life thing. You could, with time, organize a meetup that, hey, look, let's meet up. Or you could organize a protest that, look, what's happening to Hindu girls of Pakistan is very bad. So on this Sunday, we'll go and protest at so-and-so public place in the city. You don't have to protest the whole day. All we need are pictures. You protest there for half an hour, make some videos, make some pictures. This is how you start the narrative. You upload those pictures to Twitter, to Instagram, you send them to me, then we start the narrative. OP India writes about it. Swaraj magazine writes about it. Hindu Post makes an articles about it. The YouTubers talk about this. There was a protest against the exploitation of Hindu women in Pakistan in so-and-so place. It becomes a news. If these things happen every single day, they get talked about. And this is how you set a narrative. Now imagine if we had 50, 100, 200, 500 pages like this. Hindus of Vishakhapatnam, Hindus of Bareilly, Hindus of Guwahati, and they were doing this sort of activism, even if it's just online activism. Do you really think it won't bring a change? Because the first step is awareness. Unless a patient knows that he's ill, he's not going to go to the doctor. He's not going to look for a medicine. First of all, we have to make people aware that, look, there is a problem. So the first step is awareness. Social media is your tool. You could have a page showcasing the temples in your area. Temples of South Delhi, temples of Chennai. You can make these pages, and using these pages, you could spread awareness about the temples in your local area, encourage other Hindus to go there, and once again, turn this into meetups. That, okay, every Wednesday, every Tuesday, every Thursday, whenever, we'll meet at the temple, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., whatever it is. You could even involve the temple people into this. You could go to the Pandit ji and say, look, I want to put together some sort of a society to bring Hindus together. Can you please help me with this? Can you please spread the word that people who want to do something like this can come on so-and-so day, so-and-so time, etc., etc. You could start a social media page about a particular issues, whether the issue is local to your area or a national issue. Pick up any issue, free the temples, love jihad, anything. Just start a page about it. Constantly talk about it and spread awareness. This is how we get a certain renaissance going. The government is not going to do it for us. The corporations won't do it for us. The politicians won't do it for us. People from the Hindu society, you and me, have to do it for ourselves. You could start a hobby club. You could start a cricket club, play cricket every Sunday, and once you're done with it, you discuss some of the issues. You make people aware. You could have a WhatsApp group. This is the easiest thing you can do in the society you live in the local area you live in, amongst your relatives. Can you start a WhatsApp group and share the posts that me and people like me are making? Can you spread awareness? Yeah, you'll be called a Sanghi, a BJP agent, whatever. Ignore it all. Your goal, stay focused. Your goal is to spread awareness and bring a certain renaissance in the Hindu society. So facing some mean comments from some naysayers is a very, very small price to pay for that. Another thing you can do if you're a student is you could have a Hindu society in your college. You could have a film club. You can say that, okay, once a week we'll get together and watch a Hindu documentary. Prachyam has a OTT platform full of Indic documentaries. Once a week, you could sit together, project them onto a wall, watch them together and discuss them. You could start a Indic book club in your college. All of you read one Indic book, one chapter a week, and then discuss it. This is how you raise the Indic consciousness. So essentially what I'm trying to say is the first step is putting people together, whether it's a film club, a hobby club, a Mandir Kirtan Mandali, or a WhatsApp group. You get people together and then you put them to work. Everybody needs a leader. One person has to lead. Some people will say random things to you. They'll make fun of you. Ignore them, because once you get going, people will also start following you. When I made my page, everybody thought it was a stupid idea. One friend that I told this idea to, he said, there are so many pages like this, who cares? But I ignored them and I still made this page because I felt a very strong civilisational responsibility to do this. And look at me now, I have tens of thousands of followers I can get my message across to. But for a year or more, I barely had 900 followers, but I still kept posting. So ignore the followers, ignore the likes and the comments and whatever. Ignore the people who put you down. Do your duty. Pay the rin that you owe to your forefathers. Get the people together, then get them to write emails to the PMO, to the Home Ministry, write letters. Can you imagine if every week the HMO receive hundreds of emails from concerned Hindus who are concerned about love jihad or who are concerned about the fate of Hindus in Pakistan? They will have to take notice. And the good thing about the BJP is that they listen to you. So do not let this opportunity go. You have issues, you have disagreement with the policy decisions, let the government know. The BJP IT cell, whatever it is, it listens to you and it does get some of the message across to the top command. All you need is a letterhead. The Hindu Society of Southern California, the Hindu Society of Meerut, the Hindu Society of so-and-so college. Get it on a letterhead, send an email, send a letter. You don't have to register an organization. Get people together and take action. Any of these actions, any of these ideas that I've told you, implement them. And if enough of us implement these ideas, you can bring a change. Do not forget that Abhinav Bharat was started by Veer Savarkar, sitting in a room with a handful of boys just to read books. And we know the kind of impact they had and where it ended up. So do not underestimate yourself. You have a cell phone, you have the internet, you have your intellect. Use it. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and you got some information from this, some new ideas from this. Do not forget to subscribe to this podcast and give it a good rating on Spotify, Apple, or whichever platform you're listening to this on. If you're not already doing it, then please follow me on social medias as well. The name is Indologia, Indologia. Please send me your critique, your comments, your ideas. You can DM me on Instagram. We have a lot of great times to look forward to. I'm expecting PM Modi, even under a coalition government, to do great things. And I wish him all the best. Of course, he will have our constant support. And till the next time I see you, Jai Hind and Vande Mataram.